So you guys want to try playing Gunner. You guys must love pressing a lot of buttons, and you guys must love guns, because that is what you are going to get by playing the Gunslinger in Lost Ark. This class has the most buttons to press out of any other class in the game. As you see right here, we've got our normal 8 skills, plus we've got 4 more for a shotgun and 4 more for our sniper, for a grand total of 16 skills you guys have to keep track of in your head at all times. Keep the cooldowns going and keep your positioning going, because you are also one of the squishiest classes. But in return, you do some insane damage. You have absolutely no downtime. You never use this auto attack ever, unless you want to, but you don't have to ever use this. And you just look like a badass the whole time. Look at this one skill. This is my favorite skill in the game. That's awesome. And you have flexibility of changing that. So let's go ahead and hop into the training grounds. If that sounds like something you're interested in, then stick around and I'll show you guys what the Gunslinger is all about real quickly. So we're just going to go over what makes a gunslinger, see if this is something that resonates with you guys. We're not going to go over every single skill, because then we're going to be here all day. We're going to just go over the skills that I have used on my bar and that you'll be using as well. So we'll go in order. We'll go ahead and start with Spiral Tracker. Spiral Tracker basically throws down your gun and it shoots around. When it's shooting around, if it hits an enemy, it will weaken them, allowing you to crit them more often. That's basically the gameplay of Gunslinger. You're going to be using your skills, which will put the shoot up on the enemy. As you see, let's put a boss in there. So we'll summon a boss enemy. So we'll go ahead and we'll see, we weakness exposure it. So the whole gameplay loop of the Gunslinger, guys, is you're going to be exposing this weakness by using one of 3 different skills, which will give you a slight timer. Some skills have longer timers, and then you swap into your shotgun or your sniper and blast them for big damage. So the whole gameplay loop of this is going to be weaken them and then swap into your big damage. So let's just go ahead and show you a quick little rotation on how you guys are going to play the Gunslinger. We'll reset our cooldowns. And just know, there's no set rotation for the Gunslinger. It's whatever happens to work at the moment. That's why this class is awesome. So we'll go ahead and swap into the shotgun real quick and blast them. So you got 10 seconds left. All our buttons. Unload all of our shotguns. And then swap back into the pistol. As you see, that skill is still on cooldown, so we'll go down a different one. Now we'll swap into the sniper and as you see, we're still using cooldown. Now we're sniping again. Now the cooldown's out, so let's swap back into the pistol. Again, as you see, we still have more sniper shots to do, so let's just blast them again with the sniper shots. Blast them again. And now our shotgun skills are a little bit still on cooldown, so we'll go ahead and use bullet range, blast them down, swap back into the shotgun, blast them again, and that's basically it. You can look down on the bottom right here to see if your cooldowns are up. If they are, you can go ahead and watch. So if that was fun to you, then let me go ahead and show you exactly what tripods you want to use and what skills you want to use for your class. So let's go ahead and start with the pistols. As we went over the first one, Spiral Tracker, this is going to lower the crit resistance of the enemies that it hits. It could hit multiple enemies, lowering crit resistance of many characters at the same time. Combo quick step right here, we have the Glyph of Life Absorption, which gives you more attack speed and more movement speed. What is this skill exactly? It gives you a dash and you shoot. If you miss the shot, it does not give you a movement speed. So make sure you land that little extra little shot and then you look at that little movement speed you get. That's what this skill is all about. It's about giving you more movement speed. It has a slight cooldown, so you just want to make sure you land that little shot. How are you going to land that shot? Well, if you push it once, you just do a dash. So make sure you push it once and then twice for that shot. So slide whichever way you want to slide, and then turn back around and make the shot. That's how you're going to use that skill. Now, our other skill we're going to have is Somersault Shot. Somersault Shot is literally just... You don't really want to use it for anything else. we'll go ahead and keep the cooldown so you guys can see the cooldown, but as you see, if you want to jump through an enemy, it doesn't really work. So I like to use this simply just to avoid. So if you see an enemy attack is about to hit you, since you get that big red mark, that's when you're going to jump away from it with Somersault Shot. Now, Equilibrium, this is my favorite skill for the pistols. I have it hooked for enemy raid. Enemy raid is not necessary, but it is very helpful in AoE situations. What enemy raid does is it turns your shot to a 360 spin. If you don't have that on, and say you don't want to invest 7 points into it, let's take that off, then you can forward and to your sides, so at a 180-degree angle instead. I like the damage the skill does. I like the I love the 360-degree angle, so I like to have it at enemy raid. You don't have to have that. Yeah. Also, for this build that I have, by the way, this is a fresh level 50 build. It has maybe 1 skill point potion, but it does not have a lot of skill point potions. So keep that in mind. You can also add and change a few more depending on your skill points that you have, because I don't have all of the skill points. Now, we have Dexterous Shot. This one 100% has to have weakness exposure. That is the whole gameplay loop of the Gunslinger, is these weakness exposure glyphs. Now, what does Dexterous Shot do? It gives him that little debuff, as you saw, but it also gives you a little bit of press the button multiple times. That's what these little arrows mean. And your character will do like a little dash. So this is pushing the button, just a small little dash. And if you push it multiple times, then the combo action does it twice. It goes twice as far. So that's that skill. This is another really good skill as well. I love to use this one when I'm moving through a mob pack to weakness exposure a whole bunch of them. I like to go like this. I weakness exposure a whole bunch of them, I blast them with that, and then Somersault Shot out, and then you can swap to the sniper and just blast them through with that shot right there. That's my little combo for that one. Now we have the combo Peacekeeper right here. This one is a good move for super immunity right here, for the super armor. But the main use for this one, if you see right here, I don't know if I can go over it with my mouse, but it has a counter attack. So this is your counter attack skill. You basically want to use it when you have a counter attack. Now, how do you use counter attacks? When you see that little blue marker from an enemy, you want to be in front of the boss, and you want to counter it at the exact moment that the attack's going to hit you. That's the way that counter attacks work in this game. Now, our last skill, I believe, that we have to go over is Bullet Rain. Bullet Rain is a very good damage skill, but we don't have many points to put into it, so I don't have any points into it. And this is also a skill that you're not going to be using unless everything else is on cooldown. And as you saw when I did my burst earlier, there's a slight moment where you're going to be able to use it, but very rarely will you need to use this skill. Bullet Rain is a cooldown skill where you just rain bullets down. As easy as that. Just it's pretty cool because you can aim somewhere and then run the other way, so it's a good little kiting move to use in various situations. But those are all your pistol skills, guys. Make sure you go over your pistol tripods. You can go ahead and change them around as well. These are not the only tripods that you could use. You could change them to add more mobility or less mobility. This grenade is also good for a CC if you want to have a quick freeze grenade for inflicting freeze on certain bosses. That also comes in handy once in a while. So make sure you change your tripods as needed. Now for the shotgun, Hour of Judgment, kind of unneeded. You don't need to worry about that one. So let's just go over the 4 that we actually have. Shotgun Rapid Fire, literally just some DPS. All of these skills are just DPS basically. So Shotgun Rapid Fire, we'll just go over the glyphs that I have. In a Tight Spot, Enhanced Shot, and Special Bullet. This is for maximum damage against bosses. Now, dual buckshot combo, again, this is really good damage as well, so you want to use In a Tight Spot, Enhanced Fire, and Final Strike. We'll go ahead and show what that skill looks like. Blast 3 more times like that. That's the way that skill works. Make sure when you're playing and shooting the shotguns, your last bullet hits on all shotgun shots. That shot, the final shot, does the most damage. Now, we have Sharpshooter with Special Bullet, In a Tight Spot, and Guardian's Breath. This is specifically for bosses, guys. This one does the most damage. As you see, we'll go ahead and test the damage right here. We'll start the test. And it does 41,000 damage right there. So that's not bad damage, considering my gear's not the best. So that's pretty good. Also, it gives them a burn. But The reason why this is my favorite shotgun skill is because when you're doing other things where you need to AoE it, do this setup, guys. Change it to ranged shot, omnidirectional fire, and Frosthaven. You could keep Guardian's Breath if you prefer, but I just love the color blue, so I love Frosthaven. It also freezes everything. So let's go ahead and summon some monsters and see if we can show it off with some monsters instead, because you can't freeze them. So can we summon multiple monsters at once? So you go ahead and summon a few monsters, and then watch this. Stand right in the middle. I love that skill. That skill just kills everything around you. Anything standing near you gets blown up. I love that skill so much. Now, for the sniper skills, we don't have enough points to max these out. I would like to max out target down, but unfortunately I'm missing the skill potions. But let's just go over those real quick. So for Spiral Flame, this is optional. You could use this one. I might actually suggest using this one over, what's it called? Catastrophe. Catastrophe is nice because of the super armor, but it's kind of hard to land in my opinion. It does do more damage, I believe, though. So it's up to you between Catastrophe and Spiral Flame. We'll go ahead and show off both of them, and you guys can make your own decision. So that's Spiral Flame. It shoots and makes a little trail of fire. It doesn't do too much damage. And then here's Catastrophe. We'll reset the cooldown. And then here's Catastrophe. So you guys can choose between these two if you want. Catastrophe, as you saw, just did 10k damage, and it takes a lot more effort to land. The way that this skill works is this little canister right here has to hit the enemy. That's why I don't really like it too much. So say you use it over here, it has to hit inside that box. If it doesn't hit inside that box and it goes past them, it's not going to hit. So this skill isn't used too much for damage, to be honest. It's more used for that super armor and stagger. So the other skill you're going to have is Perfect Shot, which I don't have any tripods because I'm out of skill points for it. So we'll go ahead and show off that skill, which is Focus Shot. Was it? No, Perfect Shot. That's what we're showing off. Perfect Shot. So here's Perfect Shot. You just hold down and let it go right when it hits that little perfect area. It's basically just a piercing shot that hits a lot of enemies and does a lot of damage. Then you got Focus Shot, which is going to be one of your biggest DPS skills, guys. This is one of your most important skills to be getting off consistently. So let's go ahead and swap into the sniper again and use this one. Now, 3 shots, and then your last shot is a super powerful bullet that does a ton of damage. And then the last skill is one of my favorites in the game as well, Target Down. I love it because you can just shoot anywhere your cursor aims, and you boom, kill everything on the screen right there. So for that one, I have Quick Aim, Double Tap, and Final Strike for Focus Shot. And for Target Down, I have Quick Aim, a large magazine. And once I get the points for it, I believe I go Heaven Calls or Steady Aim. Depends on your battle or who you're trying to do the damage on. As you see right here, this would do more damage to challenge rank or above foes, and this just does more damage in general. So it's up to you on what situation you're going to need for this skill as well. And that is basically it, guys. The last thing I want to just go over real quick is the engravings that you're going to want to use. There's 2 different engravings. There is Time to Hunt, I believe it is. Yes, Time to Hunt gives you an extra 35% crit rate at max level, but you're unable to use the shotgun stance. Let me just tell you right here, you're never going to use this one. Not being able to use the shotgun is a huge damage loss. It does help that you can just focus on 2 guns instead. It might be easier for you, but not being able to use the damage of the shotgun, and remember that shotgun skill that I showed you is big AoE. You lose out on a lot of damage and a lot of AoE damage, or a lot of boss damage, because if you're doing single target damage, I forgot to show this actually, you go back to the regular setup, which was, I believe it was Special Bullet, right? I don't remember what it was anymore. Yeah, Special Bullet, In a Tight Spot, and Guardian's Breath. That's the normal setup for the shotgun, and then this is going to be one of your highest damaging skills. If you're not using that, you're missing out on a lot of damage, so why would you use a engraving that gets rid of that? The one you're going to be wanting is Peacemaker. Peacemaker at max rank gives you an extra 16% attack speed in handgun stance, an extra 25% crit rate in shotgun stance, damage plus 10% to foes and an additional 30% to targets with 50% or lower HP for 9 seconds while in rifle stance. So basically, what does this mean? It means you do more damage with everything, and then specifically for the snipers, you want to do more damage, or you will do more damage when the target is 50% HP or lower. Now, that's all I've got for you guys. As you see, this is already a long video. I didn't expect it to be this long, but if you guys enjoyed this guide and you want to see more guides, I have currently a Soul Fist and a Battle Dancer. If you want to see guides on those ones, I'll be posting those ones soon. But I gotta work on other characters to get more alts to show you guys more gameplay on that. But if you guys are looking forward to those two, go ahead and hit me up with a sub, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.